Hello everyone, Sirturmund here again, bringing you the first video on the new patch. Before we start, I wanted to touch on two updates that were not in yesterday's patch notes that get added later. So one of them is Dragon's Protection. So Dragon's Protection is the card that's generated by the Ionia 3 mana 4/2 card that gives +0/+3 health to a unit, right? It was changed from being slow to being focused. Now, this is nice. I just don't know if it's actually worth it though, because you still have to play the unit, which is a 3 mana 4/2, which is not great stat wise, and then you still have to spend an additional 2 mana just to get a +3 health. So I don't think this card is gonna see a lot of play, but it is what it is. Now this other change is actually very nice. So this one makes it so that when you summon an ephemeral ally, you're able to give the Shadow Apprentice +1/+0 this round. What does this synergize with? You heard that right. Hecarim is sending us to Sharp Chariots. This is such a good card for like those Hecarim ephemeral decks, because now you have an elusive, a 1 mana elusive that can literally become like, I don't know, like a 4/1, 5/1 every single turn and just push so much damage. I think the Shadow Apprentice is a really good change and should be an auto include if you ever mess around with like Hecarim decks. Anyways, now, to go back to what we're here for today. Today, we're here to showcase a new deck. Technically, not new, but it is going to be playing the new and updated Udyr. So, leave it up to me to showcase 15 decks to you guys and not showcase one of those as my first video. I know, but I ended up finding out as I was thinking about it that this combination of Udyr Galio and playing Demacia with Galio can just be really, really strong. Just because of how much value you can get from the Broadwind and being able to give regeneration because of the stance swaps, right? So this is going to be just a beatdown, failure Demacia deck. So we're playing Formidable units. So we're playing the three Pretricized Hound. We're playing the 3 Sculptures to be able to give a lot of health to our units. 3 Broadwind. We're playing 2 Prodigies because it can synergize pretty nice with Broadwind. And it can also be pretty nice, honestly, on Udyr and some of our other units. And then we also play 3 Galio, right? So that's kind of what we do from the Formidable side of things. Obviously, Galio got buffed himself, but he's also just so good because you can just plop him down when you have an Udyr on the board or the other units and just give so much health. And then from Failure, we are playing 3 Sentry because this combination of regions has no draw. So it can be pretty weak if you're not able to draw. Now, you do have a lot of card generation because you have a lot of ways to create stance swaps, but having some draw is still very important. So I like going to 3 Sentry. 3 Inner Beast. This card is so good. I don't even play Sharps anymore. I think I just play 3 Inner Beasts because he's able to give one of my units +1/+1, which a lot of times is enough to just push the damage that you need or to be able to survive. And then you just go and do like a stance swap on top of that, and it's just so good. We have 3 single combats, obviously, to be able to strike and remove opponent's unit, and he also synergizes with Udyr a lot, so it's pretty nice. 3 Trollshan to be able to save our units. 3 Wanderers to be able to give us another way to get stance swaps. I do play 2 Tavern Keeper because I was kind of getting run down by aggro. So I think it is important for us to have some Tavern Keepers to be able to protect against aggro. And you can also synergize with some of your challengers like the Broadwind if you don't have regeneration on it yet. 2 Concerted Strike, another way to remove opponent's threats compared to single combat. I like 2 Screeching Dragons, right? So 2 Screeching Dragons better, I think is better than playing the Formidable 5-drop. Because that challenger can be really, really big, right? So instead of playing the Mountain Drake, I think it's better to play the Screeching Dragon because the challenger can just remove anything that the opponent might have. And you can also honestly give this dragon regeneration if you don't have a better target for it. So I think it's pretty good. And you can also synergize with the Prodigy as well. So triple Udyr. Udyr is, I swear that Udyr is OP. Because he levels up so quickly now and he becomes such a big unit that if the opponent does not have like straight up hard removal, he just takes over the game so easily, as you'll see in some of the games today. And then lastly, I'm experimenting with double Hyara Allseer. Now, be careful with this card because this card is currently bugged. So even though technically it says the first stanza you play each round costs 0, it's currently not working like that. If you have 0 mana, then yeah, you can play with 0 cost. But let's say you have like 2 mana or even 3 mana, it will actually eat up that 2 or 3 mana. So it's like a really weird bug where if you have no mana, it will work as intended and you play a 0 cost stance swap. But if you have any amount of mana, either 1, 2, or 3, it will eat up that mana as if it still costs 3, right? So just be careful with that. But I still think that even with it being glitched right now, this card is so much value in this deck. Because a lot of times, especially now that you have the Inner Beast, you can synergize with this with the Allseer. So that first of all, the Allseer gives you a stance swap. So you right away get a 0-cost stance swap. And then in the following turn, even if you don't have Udyr, you can do Inner Beast and get another 0-cost stance swap because the first one that you play is going to count for it. So yeah, I think this is crazy. Also the Booping Wonder, of course, right? So I think this card is just nuts. And I will play it in a heartbeat, especially once it gets fixed. I do think 3 of is a little bit too much though, right? Because you only really need 1 to get the effect going. So you never want to see 2 of them in your hand. So yeah, anyways. Hope you enjoy the games coming up soon. Remember, this is kind of more like a beatdown deck, so it does suffer against stuff like Noxus. But it should do well against other Demacia decks because our Udyr gets so much bigger than their units. And it can do well against other decks as well because of just how much pressure Udyr can do. Might struggle a little bit against Control as well just because they have Vengeance, but yeah, again, just give it a shot and see what you think. But I think Udyr, I love Udyr, is definitely one of my favorite champions now. So yeah, enjoy the games. I'll see you all at the end of the video for some mulligan tips. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Garen, Leona. Okay. I wonder what our opponent is playing right here. We have a decent hand. Maybe Galio's not great. Single combat is good, but probably not this early. And I don't even know if the hand is actually correct this early either. I think I want to keep the Browwing and potentially get more support cards. Like the Inner Beast is pretty good because we can give Browwing regeneration. Like early on, right? Which I think is going to be like a big deal. All these little arrow things, I don't know how I feel about them, so I don't think we need to do anything right now. There's a chance that we can draw the sculpture. There we go. And if we draw the sculpture, maybe we want to wait before we play the Browwing, just so that the Browwing has a little bit more. Out of the way! What am I playing against? What the heck? We could have also done the Inner Beast right now. So we could have done the Inner Beast right now to be mana efficient. So that's something that we gotta keep in mind. The stance swap that's created from Inner Beast is not fleeting. So we could have done it last turn and being able to be mana efficient, so we have saved 1 mana. Now there's 2 things that we can do here as well. We can actually just do the Browwing, I think. It's not bad. We don't need to block, right? We don't need to block. This is awkward because I want to use the Inner Beast right now. I think I am. I think I'm gonna use it right now. I'm gonna just use it right now. And just have this Browwing become just a big beast that the opponent has to worry about. We can kill his Shield Breaker next turn. Right? We can even do the Prodigy. I don't think it's right to do the Udyr. So I don't think it's right to do the Udyr. I think we have to just do it like this. I think Udyr is better off later. Now we have 2 options. I wanted to be able to keep enough mana for Concerted Strike. Well, maybe that's not correct. Because now, if the opponent has single combat, for example, I get punished for this, right? So I probably shouldn't spend this right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pass. If the opponent decides not to single combat right now, then that's okay with us. Because Galio is going to be a big punish for the opponent next turn, right? We could give this guy a spell right now. Or we could just summon the Udyr right now as well. I think summoning Udyr right now is fine. It makes his attack a little bit awkward, and we'll be able to get a stance swap as well as have Galio on the field next turn, so that the Udyr becomes a 5/8, right? If the opponent lets me summon Galio next turn, then I think they pretty much... How do they win the game? I guess they could have Concerted Strike right here. So they could have Concerted Strike right here, or the Sunburst. Okay, Sunburst is pretty good, but he decided to use it. Like, if we had anything else, he would get so punished for this. Because he decides to not use the... Oh, no. He does have the silence anyways, because the Rabun is always giving Daybreak. So I guess that's fair. I think we just do this. We just do this and call it a day.
Give me a day and you'll have 2.
Udyr's gonna be a 8 health. The problem is that it's kind of awkward here, right? This is just gonna stun Udyr. We could technically level up the Galio right now. I think we wait. We do have the stance swap. We could just use the stance swap. Because it's either we level up Galio or we do the stance swap. Opponent just tapped out of having Concerted Strike, making me feel comfortable about using this. We'll do it on the Galio because the Galio has Spell Shield. And having regeneration on this Galio is pretty darn good, isn't it? So now we're one stance up away from being able to level up Udyr already. His board is huge. Like, his board is huge, especially because he's going to do For Demacia next turn. So with the For Demacia, we're going to have to do Concerted Strike, right? And if we're going to do Concerted Strike, we want to do it on the Baboon. The other problem is that this is going to stay forever. But we have blockers for everything else. Killing the Baboon right now, I think, is more important. This also gives us a stance swap. And if the opponent attacks, we get another one, which will level up the Udyr. I do need to be worried about single combat, I guess. So let's do it right now. Let's do it right now. I want to do it right now and make this Udyr just so big that the opponent cannot do anything about it, because we're just going to continue using stance. So, like, look at this. Udyr is a 9-12, a 9-14 actually. Both of our units are going to have regeneration. So anything that he attacks with here is going to get killed. Cool. I think it's more important to keep the Udyr alive than it is to keep the Galio alive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to block the Sunforger with the Galio and block the other ones with Udyr. This will make it so that if the opponent has single combat, he will have to do it right now to kill the Udyr. Yep, there we go. So we talked about, it said that we have another Udyr, right? Meaning that we can just do Overwhelm on this guy. So we can do the Overwhelm on the Galio. So now the Galio, every time he attacks, is going to have Overwhelm. And then we summon another Udyr, who's now is a 10-9, by the way, because he's already leveled up. And every time... Oh my goodness. Is it better to do the zero cost stance swap? I think it might be. I think it might be better to do the zero cost stance swap. And then just have another stance swap when I attack. Yep. It's a little bit unfortunate, my friend. It's a little bit unfortunate. Galio can attack with Overwhelm. This can technically have Overwhelm as well. And just push a lot of damage. I am kind of scared of the Sunburst. Like, if the opponent has another Sunburst, they might not be spending any units right now waiting for that Sunburst. Single combat. Okay, so they want to be able to kill the Galio then. If we do this, we still get punished by Sunburst later on. If we just do the Overwhelm right now, he probably has enough to do a Concerted Strike right here, right? Okay, so he does Concerted Strike right here instead. Which means that he should have a way to kill this. We have another Udyr in our hand. That's why I was a little bit wondering if it was actually correct to play the Wanderer, because it meant that it did mean that we actually, well, he actually took the 11 like that. It meant that we tapped out of the Galio Shield of Duran, right? Oh my goodness. Inner Beast is huge. He's just, like, right now, the opponent's just kind of playing, like, just stopping the Galio, right? I think we keep the Inner Beast. I think we actually just get this 3-cost stance swap right here. And I keep the Inner Beast as a backup. We also have the Shield of Duran here. This is a big unit that the opponent has to be worried about. Opponent decides to attack with everything. Doesn't really matter to us. I guess it kind of does a little bit, right? We go down to 5. Opponent could technically have the rally, I guess. Is the rally enough? It's not, right? So we just pass and wait to see what he does. Okay, yep, there's the rally. Unfortunately, rally's not gonna be enough. Let's go ahead and just give this to him. He will level up the Garen though. So he will level up the Garen. It's just better to do my stance swap right now and just take the 3 damage. And then we just open. I think this is fine, right? I guess it doesn't matter. Let's just not take the damage. I guess it doesn't matter. Let's just do it like this. Yep. Let's do it like this. We have blockers for everything. And then next time we just open. Because if he attacks, we get a 0-cost stance swap, right? Okay, these games with Udyr are interesting. Man, this is my first game of the patch, by the way. So I'm sorry that it was so, like, jumpy with my decisions and probably some misplays. We got baited out by the fact that we had triple Udyr. But yeah, GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Ashe LeBlanc, which is very bad for us, right? Because opponents should have a lot of ways to, like, freeze our units. I guess the freezes are not effective against our formidable units if we actually drew them. Obviously we don't draw them, so it's a little bit of a problem now. So let's see what happens here. Double Sculpture is not bad if we get other stuff, right? If we get our formidable units, then Double Sculpture is actually pretty good. Concerted Strike is not bad. Alright, let's see the Culling Strike. It's not Culling, and it's also not the Glory Seeker. Interesting. Triple Sculpture is a little bit trolly. I think 3 Sculptures are a little bit too much. I guess it will make our Screeching Dragon really healthy. Which is not bad. This is, I guess that's not bad. Let's do the Sentry, because I just want to block and I just want to draw right now. So I feel like I just want to block. So I'm willing to just do the Sentry, even though technically we don't get the value from it. Unfortunately, the Sentry is the one that's going to get frozen, right? So unfortunately, the Sentry is the one that gets frozen, but we can just do this. Let's get a little bit of a draw. We do the Third Sculpture, and then we do the Screeching Dragon next turn. The moment that we get the Broadwind or get like a Galio, it will be pretty nice. We get the Broadwind. So it has to be Broadwind over Screeching Dragon because it leaves us access to Concerted Strike, and the Broadwind doesn't get punished by the freeze, right? So he's gonna do the bloody business right here. Let's just do this now. Let's just do this now and get rid of this Ashe. Let's do this now, get rid of the Ashe. If the opponent has like Troll Chant, means that we can still kill the Ashe, right? Bloody business again, okay. So he gets to kill one of them, loses 2 bloody businesses. Do we push? I think we push. I think we push the damage here. Because we're going to have the regeneration next turn, right? Because we can do the Hyara Allseer and give this regeneration. Now, if the opponent has like Culling Strike, we get punished. Okay, yeah, this is pretty good. This is pretty good for us. This is a good blocker. We give this regeneration. This is going to be out of this world. Because we have 0 mana, we don't get affected by the bug that the Hyara Allseer has. We can do the Screeching Dragon as well, giving us another thing that can drag stuff. Now, I think we need to actually open. I think we actually need to open. I'm kind of scared. Wow. I'm actually very scared of... I like the open. I'm very scared of a Reckoning. I think the open is better here. Kill this 5-drop. That way we don't have to worry about Reckoning. Okay, he's able to kill our unit. So I guess now we just summon the Udyr and still get the 0-cost stance swap. We can get the Udyr regeneration, and that way the Udyr is going to become bigger and bigger. Like we talked about, the only problem here is the fact that it still eats up our mana. So we couldn't even save the 2 mana. Losing the Broadwind is huge, but that was his third bloody business, so I don't have to worry about the bloody business anymore. We even get another Bullpin Wanderer. We can also just do the Allseer instead. Yeah, this is not gonna work for you, right? Because we get the stance swap, which will level up the Udyr. We got another stand swap here as well. Actually, we should have done... No, because remember, the Hyara Allseer is bugged. So technically, in another world, we would have done Wanderer, done the first stance, then do Allseer. The problem is that because the Allseer is bugged, there's absolutely no reason to do it that way. What are we playing around by him doing this? So we cannot block with Udyr. What can the opponent have by doing it this way? Are we just taking this damage? I don't think we are. I think we are blocking. I just don't think that we're blocking with the Udyr. We give it Overwhelm. Because now this Udyr is going to be huge. The only problem here is that we still lose to like the freezes, right? But the Udyr has 12 health now. Which means that the opponent is going to have to commit like freezes just to kill the Udyr. We can do the Screeching Dragon, allowing us to pull the LeBlanc. Yeah, look how big this Udyr becomes now. Because every stance up is going to count. Yeah, this is a... Let's do the Screeching Dragon first. Let's do the Screeching Dragon first so that we can potentially kill LeBlanc before we do anything else. We want to use the stance swap now so that we can create another one. The problem is that because the Allseer is bugged, if we use the stance swap, we're actually just like losing, right? If we do this now, this loses to a Reckoning. But if he does Reckoning, he's also losing almost his whole board except for LeBlanc. This is going to force... I guess LeBlanc is going to level up right here, right? He could have a freeze. That's why he's blocking this way. Yeah, so LeBlanc... He's looking to level up LeBlanc right here. He's looking to level up the LeBlanc by doing the Troll Shan to save her. Doesn't have the freeze, so opponent goes down to 1 HP. Oh, actually 3 HP. And then we can just burn them down. I guess we have to be careful about LeBlanc doing some crazy nonsense, but this card is like huge. How is he ever gonna kill this? How's the opponent ever killing this? I just do the bear stance on this, right? Oh, that's huge. Okay. Alright. So by doing this, opponent is able to freeze our Udyr, stopping him from getting any value. So this is so annoying. This Hyara Allseer bug is really, really annoying. Let's do this. Let's do this. This is gonna stop this from dying to a Reckoning, right? Yeah, I know I won't get the value. I'm just gonna target the LeBlanc. Because he's gonna have to do something here, right? To protect these units. To save them. Otherwise he's losing them both. And we have Concerted Strike to be able to stop. So the Brittle Steel is 1. Okay, so you can kill one of the Allseers. How did you save the How do you save the LeBlanc here? How do you save the LeBlanc without tapping out of everything else? Troll Shan? Do I care? Do I care? Opponent probably has... So this is the problem, right? Opponent probably has the Undecisive Tactician, right? If the opponent has the Undecisive Tactician, he will be able to just get so much value from the Mirror Image and the Tactician plus the LeBlanc. I just don't think it's actually safe to commit this skill right now. So if the opponent commits the Undecisive Tactician, I think we can always just Concerter, right? Yes. I think we can always use Concerter, right? To stop the Undecisive Tactician. Because we can just kill the Ashe. Yeah, there we go. So opponent does like this. We kill the Ashe right now before he's able to get any more value. So by killing the Ashe right here, we're able to block with Udyr. Opponent is able to get one more Mirror Image, meaning that the opponent will be able to attack one more time. Because the Mirror Image will cost 0. Him attacking here is kind of annoying, but it's not a big deal. I think we can just go down to 6. Again, we can just block here too, right? We can just block like this. And just let the LeBlanc hit for the 8. Like, his opponent's at 3 HP, so this doesn't matter to us. He gets to do another tactician here, gets to rally again. The problem is that the opponent will not be able to... It will not have enough mana, right? He shouldn't have enough mana here to do this, like, infinitely. So we're able to just block with Udyr again, blocking the tactician one more time. I'm able to sacrifice the sculptures and just go from there. We even kill the spider here too. It was close, but I think we played out. I think we played it correctly because the opponent had to tap out of 0 mana to play the tactician, allowing us to kill the Ashe. We know that his next top deck is going to be the Ashe Arrow, so opponent will get one mirror image again, but it will only be reduced by 1 by the end of this attack, meaning that the opponent should not be able to actually kill us. And same thing again. We don't need to actually go. We don't need to actually do anything else. We don't need to tag anything. We kill the spider. Yeah, there you go. So the mirror image is 1, so opponent is not able to just fully kill us. And now because of the overwhelm, we just have to open attack. Opponent only has 1 card that we don't know about because they're going to be drawing the Ashe Arrow. Yeah, there we go. So we're able to just kill like this. And that's game. Definitely want to kill LeBlanc first, just to stop him from getting so much value from her. I think that match is tough because opponent has freezes, but we were able to pull through and be able to finish the game. So yeah, GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Reputation, so Sivir LeBlanc. Let's see how this goes. I like this as a very early blocker. I don't think the single combat is worth it. Petricized Broadwind could be really good, right, at killing the LeBlanc, even if we sacrifice her. Inner Beast is also really nice because he's going to let us get the 0-cost stand swap in combination with Udyr. He gets the Trashing Snapper, unfortunately. I'm thinking it's actually better to do the Sentry first. Although the Broadwind, the Sculpture is not bad. I think, actually, let's do the Sculpture. I might be okay taking another 2 here. Yeah. This is better. Because now I can do the Sentry here. I guess he will be able to push the damage. Opponent gets the LeBlanc. If we do this, this becomes a 4 health unit. He can just target it with the Snapper. So it has to be the Sentry to eat up the Rolling Sands. He's still going to push 7 damage. LeBlanc is going to be very big. And then we do the Broadwind next turn and we're still in a bad spot. I guess Trollshen helps us out a lot. Trollshen is huge, right? Trollshen is huge because we can Trollshen the LeBlanc. Which we're going to have to. I think we need to keep this guy alive. So I think we have to do like this. We have to keep this alive. So I think we're going to do it like this. Because we can potentially give this regeneration next turn. Opponent... Quicksand. Okay. So LeBlanc levels up here. Opponent gets the Quicksand value. But that's 1 Quicksand out of the way already. This is still a decent blocker. We still have Udyr in the field next turn. But the problem is the opponent just gets so much value here. Concerted Strike is huge. Do we play around Shapestone? That's the question. So, if the opponent has Shapestone, that's what I'm thinking is doing Protege plus Inner Beast to kill the Sivir. But I guess the opponent could have Shapestone. Not only that, but Sivir levels up on 12. This is 6, this is only 11. If opponent has Shapestone, that play loses to Shapestone. If we do the Udyr, Udyr is a 5-4. LeBlanc still gets to level up and do her thing. We have blockers. Yeah, I think we have to do it like this. We have to do it like this. So he still gets to attack with the Blanc and the Sivir, right? We're gonna have to sacrifice our Sculpture. We sacrifice the Sculpture here, unless, again, do we want to play around Shapestone? Do we play around the Shapestone? I think I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to take the risk and say he doesn't have it. Ho, ho, ho. I think I needed to take the risk. So I needed to take the risk no matter what. I think we're going to give this regeneration just to make sure it doesn't die to any random stuff. Right? We can give regeneration to the Sculpture next turn as well. Or we can just straight up kill LeBlanc. Which I think is actually probably better. I think it's better to just straight up kill LeBlanc right now. Before the mirror image gets triggered again. This gives us access to Concerted Strike and gives us another 0-cost stance one. The second consideration that is better to keep the Broadwind alive and just give it regeneration. Oh, that still counts, huh? Okay, so it still counts even though LeBlanc dies on the spot. So a little bit unfortunate, I guess. Let's do this. Let's make this even bigger and bigger. Let's do this and make this just such a big threat that the opponent cannot do anything about it. Sure. I want to make this so big that the opponent cannot do anything about it. We have single combat plus Concerted Strike, which is a potential that we should need to keep that. We have blockers for everything. I guess the Sivir has quick attack. We also have the Galio here. Opponent's just gonna stun. Okay, so opponent's gonna decide to stun. The problem is that opponent just gave us the chance to do this, right? So now we do this. We clear his whole board. As well as remove the spell shield on the Sivir, allowing us to be able to do quick attack. So the Udyr ends up working out. So what do you do here? The single combat is the big thing. Single combat is the big thing here. He could mirror image the Sivir. But the moment that he commits that, we commit the single combat. Yep, there you go. So the moment that he does this, now we can do the single combat and stop this. I wanted him to commit the mirror image first before we did anything else. We still have a blocker for the Sandstorm Charger. And we can keep this in case that the opponent has like a 1-drop. Opponent doesn't. I guess here's the question. Is this... Do we do this now? I guess we can give it Overwhelm right now. Might as well just give it Overwhelm right now. We can summon Galio next turn. We can open attack and then summon Galio. This is at 14, by the way. 14-10. Actually, 14-14, right? Because of the regeneration. 14-14 with tough, regeneration, and overwhelm. 14-15. Sorry. I misspoke. Woo! This is spicy. I think we just go like this. I think we just do it here first. Galio means that we level up, right? So Galio now is leveled up as well. Both champions are going to be leveled up. Opponent's down to just 3 cards. And I think we're fine because we have Concerted and we already dealt with double Sivir. So yeah. You can see how big Udyr can get really quickly. GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Garen, Misfortune. So this is just elites that adds Misfortune. So I guess it's the new Scouts, kinda. I like the Inner Beast and the Broadwind. I like the Sentry as potentially some easy draw and some nice blocker early on. The Broadwind is also very nice because if the opponent commits the Smith, he's gonna get punished by the Broadwind, right? So opponent here cannot commit anything, right? They shouldn't have anything at 2 mana that will be able to beat the Broadwind. Because they could either have the Battlesmith or they could have their own Broadwind, I guess. Okay. Alright. They have their own Broadwind. That's kind of annoying. We have Trollshan though, so this will keep a little bit alive. Can do the Bullpen Wonder. Wow, Inner Beast is actually kind of pog here. So why don't we just do the Abaros and Sentry? Because we're always going to just do Trollshan, right? Trollshan will allow this to survive. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Trojan would allow this to survive at least and kill their Broadwind. The only problem here is that we don't have the man. I guess it had to be the Wanderer. It had to be the Wanderer. We got greedy with the Sentry. It had to be the Wanderer for us to be able to do the regeneration right here and be able to kill the Misfortune. I guess we wouldn't have gone for the Misfortune just yet. Just a little bit awkward that we didn't do it that way. Triple Bulping Wonder is not bad. If we actually get like anything else, right? So I think we can do this. Opponent's probably gonna have Garen here, which is kind of annoying. Misfortune is a 1 out of 4, so I'm not too concerned about her. We don't have a way to kill Garen. Yeah, there we go. We're gonna have to do this. This puts us at 3. Still not enough, right? Yeah, that's still not enough. So we're gonna have to do this first and then do this next. That way we have blockers for everything here. We can block, we can shadow block the Garen with the Avaros and Sentry, preventing it from actually being able to level up, to advance the level up. So it's not bad. Don't think we need to shunt block the Bannerman. I think we just take it like this and just take that 4. So this means that the Garen doesn't get to strike. We get to put the regeneration on the Broadwind. We should take him up to 5. We can do the Inner Beast, so we can do a second stance swap. Because we definitely want to be able to kill. I guess we can just kill Misfortune here without doing the Inner Beast. Because the Garen thing is not permanent. So we can do this. This still has regeneration. Opponent could technically have like Sharp Side here, but we'll have the Inner Beast to protect against the Sharp Side. While this goes back to like full health next turn. Opponent could have Concerted Strike or Single Combat. Single Combat gets punished by our Concerted Strike. Sharp Side is not enough, right? So now the only problem with this is that now we're tapped out of the Concerted Strike, right? So if the opponent has the strikes, he could kill us. Double Sharp Side. It's not enough yet. We have one more. All right. All right. We got there. I don't know. I don't know if it's actually correct to play the Wonder. Because, okay, so next time we have 7 mana. Plus 2, that's 9. If we play this now, we're only going to have 7. So we don't have enough to do Concerted plus something else. I think we actually keep the mana for the stance swap. I guess technically opponent could technically have like a Citria here, which would be very punishing. But we can always Concerted Strike the Citria before she does anything to us. Jenny? So we have to consider the Garen, right? So if we have to consider the Garen, I still think it's worth it. Maybe we do... So we want to be able to do stance swap, I think. What if the opponent has single combat? We could also just pass and then do this Wonder instead. Keep the Inner Beast mana to be able to kill the Genevieve. It's gonna be able to go after this card. We could do the Concerted right now instead and kill the Jenny. The Garen is gonna be a problem if we're not killing the Garen right now. I think we do the Sculpture first. I think we do the Sculpture first and then do the Concerted Strike and just have the Wanderer, right? I think we definitely have to stop. We definitely have to stop that Jenny. I think the Challenger is the most annoying part in their deck. So I think we go like this. We're gonna have to let that Garen strike us. We have the Inner Beast to protect against Jenny doing single combat on the Broadwind. Opponent probably doesn't have single combat though, otherwise I feel like they would have used it. In which case, are we doing the second Wanderer here, or are we just sacrificing our units? I think we have to just sacrifice. I think we just stick to 4, right? We could just block here too. Yeah, we can just block here. Opponent could have another sharp side, I guess. And then they get punished by the third inner beast. This card is so good. This card is so good. Inner beast is so good, guys. We can literally kill the Garen here by doing a stance swap, making this a 2-2. Sorry, a 0-7. The problem is that we really don't have any other... So the Allseer is kind of bugged, right? Which doesn't make sense. So we cannot commit the Allseer right now. I think we do like this. Opponent could have Concerted Strike. If they don't have it...
Alright, let's get to work.
What if we just pass? What if we just pass? If we ever get Udyr, this is going to be such a nice game. So what am I scared of? Concerted Strike, Judgment, single combat, doesn't do it. Is there anything that I don't want to die to a Judgment. I think we just kill this. Demacia. Yeah, so that's the Judgment, right? So the Judgment is actually such a punish, huh? Because he levels up the Garen and we don't kill it. We only do 4. So I guess we have to play around the Judgment, huh? The problem is that we can never play around the Judgment unless we committed 2 more stance swaps. So are we through the game, huh? He was keeping 8 mana and he had no other strikes and we just let him get it. So now Garen levels up. We lose our big unit. So the only odd that we have here is actually getting... so now we actually need to get... If we don't get... So if we don't get the... If we don't get the thing, if we don't get the... If we don't get the Udyr, I don't think we win this game anymore. Because we literally just threw the game here by doing this. By letting our Broadwind die. I can try to block here and then pretend that I can do the 0-cost stance swap to kill this. Because we can try to kill the Garen. Opponent would use triple sharp sight. So there's a potential that they don't have anything else. So if he does like this, I think this is fine. So there's a bug that if we do the 0-cost stance swap, it's actually going to eat up our mana, by the way. So like if we do this, it's going to eat up our mana. So we always want to do the Protege first. So we're going to do this first. And then we're going to do the 0-cost stance swap. By doing it here, he shouldn't have anything that can kill this, right? So we can kill the Garen unless the opponent has like a sharp sight. And next time we open up with another stance swap to kill his whole board. Unless the opponent has a third Garen right here. Which is an option. Yep, of course they do. They always have the third Garen, huh? They always have the third Garen, guys. Always. Without a doubt. He gets the rally here, which means that the stance up is not going to be enough to kill it. Same thing again. If we do this now, right? We're losing 3 mana for no reason. Opponent still gets to attack with Garen. Where's our Udyr? But by doing this now, we force the opponent to have to, like actually commit something right now, right? So opponent just happens to have 3 Garen while we don't have a single Udyr or a Galio. Galio could also be pretty good here. He kills. He should always kill and then kill this one, yep. If he attacks like this, I'm definitely committing the last stance swap. I think if we can kill that third Garen, we're in a good spot. He should never attack with Garen. I'm always blocking with the Allseer. Alright. I guess we're gonna do it. I'm gonna assume he has a way to save this, right? Otherwise, it makes no sense for him to do it. If the opponent has single combat, the Durant Sculpture is not enough. Alright, that's his third Garen, right? That's his third Garen. Opponent's down to a single card. We also down to a single card, but technically 2 cards because we get a stance swap. We have done like 20 stance swaps this game, so the moment that Udyr comes down on the field, we win the game. Opponent gets Misfortune, so now if he gets anything else, it's going to be pretty annoying. So if opponent gets any other unit, of course, they get the Browin. We don't summon this because it means that we let him get the value. Now that he did it that way, I think I'm okay summoning the Wonder. Opponent's down to 0 cards. We still have the stance swap. This will let us push 5 damage because if the opponent... Ooh. This is a good draw. I think we're gonna do it like this. If the opponent blocks a Misfortune, obviously they just die into the Ram stance, right? I'm gonna pass. I wanna keep this back until later. I'm gonna pretend that I have something here. Oh, that's huge. This could be game winning right here. We'll do this. It will eat up the Ranger. Okay. So opponent got a lot of value here. By doing it like this, I think opponent made a mistake. Because now, when he pulls the Tavern Keeper, he's going to have to pull the Tavern Keeper with the Jenny. We're still not in a point that we die. We can do the regeneration on the Browin here. And have a good spot. We just don't summon him. Opponent definitely wants to attack because this is pushing 9 damage. But they lose their Jenny. And we get a Browin that's going to have regen. So we can kill the Misfortune. And that's second Misfortune as well, by the way. Triple Garen, second Misfortune. The moment that we get Udyr, we just win the game. Like, Udyr is literally like a 10-10 at this point. And the opponent should have anything that can kill this. Misfortune is a 3 out of 4, so we definitely have to just open attack and kill her. Here we go. We just have to open attack and kill Misfortune, right? We have a pretty good blocker for the rest. Single combat is not amazing. Opponent could technically draw Garen again, because even though we kill 2 Garens, this should be game, right? Even though we technically kill 2 Garens, one of them was used as a judgment, so opponent could technically get the 3rd Garen. This gets technically punished by like a barrier, but we do have single combat to protect against a Bright Steal. Yeah, cool. Cool. This gets regeneration. This does get hurt. Opponent loses their scout though, which is pretty nice for us. A 4 HP might be a little bit risky, but this is gonna have 8, so I'm not too concerned. We could single combat right now, but I think single combat is better for later on. In case that we need to like protect against another Garen. We end up joining the second single combat, so it doesn't matter. Opponent should never be able to beat this. Yeah. Where was that Udyr? We were able to push through, but that game, like, Udyr could have just potentially just completely obliterated him, right? Because he would have had no way to block Udyr, and Udyr would have just done stance swap every single time. But yeah, GG's. So in this match, we'll be going up against Lux Jayce. So obviously the buff, with the changes to cast and play, it means that the Lux is able to get her laser right off the bat, which can be very scary, right? Not a great hand. I mean, okay, Udyr kind of makes it a little bit better, I guess. Yeah, Udyr makes it a lot better because I think Udyr has the potential to get so big that the opponent cannot deal with it. Sculpture is not bad, although maybe you don't want to summon her right now. Maybe you want to wait until I have something else that I can use. Yeah, like here we can just do the sentry. That way the opponent will not be willing to attack, right? So at least we save the 2 HP. Let's go ahead and just open attack. Let's open attack, get this 2 damage in. Opponent decides to block, which is completely fine with us. And then we can do the sculpture. Opponent taps out a Mystic Shot, which will allow us to do this. And now we get the value right here. We can also do the Booping Wonder and get a 0-cost stance swap. Udyr's going to become 5 HP. Opponent could still have Thermal Netstone, which is kind of annoying though. I'm willing to do this. I think I'm willing to do this. I'm gonna do it like this and just give this the health. Okay, if opponent gets exactly the... Okay, the challenger. It's annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Thermogenic Beam is a big punish here. So what if we don't go for Thermal? I mean, sorry, why if we don't go for Udyr? What if we go like this? What if we go this and then Protege? And then have the stance swap to give this regeneration? And just make this guy like so big that the opponent's gonna have a hard time dealing with it.
A mistake is the first step to improving.
Yeah. So now what? There should be nothing that he has here that can stop this as soon as we give this regeneration. Because even Concerted Strike is not enough. Yeah. We'll go like this. I'm gonna do it right now that the opponent doesn't really have any answer. I guess technically they could have single combat. Don't know if I'm scared of that though. The problem here is that if we don't kill the Lancer... So if we kill the Lancer... It shouldn't be anything, right? Let's just push a 3 damage here. Opponent will just pull the Sculpture with the Broadwind next turn. Yeah, so he's gonna try to pull the Sculpture with the Broadwind. We will have single combat available. I think this is fine. This goes to 5. It's still not enough to kill the Broadwind. But we definitely cannot commit the single combat on it, because then if we do, he will be able to just like kill us, right? And if he does this, I'm okay with that. I think we just summon Galio next time. I think we wait for Udyr just a little bit longer. Because I don't want to summon Udyr this turn and tap out of the 2 mana for single combats. I think we just summon the Galio. This has regeneration. Opponent is going to have almost an impossible time dealing with that, especially once Galio comes in the floor and this becomes a 10. This becomes a 10 health unit, right? So how does the opponent ever deal with a 10 health unit with regeneration? I don't think they can. I don't think they can. Next time we can do the Hyara Allseer, get a 0-cost stance swap. And that way when we summon Udyr on the following turn, yeah, I think that's it. You can see how crazy it is when you can get regeneration on the Broadwind. He can just carry the whole game by himself. So yeah, GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Reputation again. So all we need is just a big champion that they cannot kill, right? Ooh, the Protege is not bad. I don't mind the Sentry. The Screeching Dragon also looks pretty tempting here because you can kill the Sivir. So let's do it like this. Oh my goodness, Sculpture. Galio. Can we get to turn 7? That's the only question here, right? So can we get to turn 7? We're going to do the Sentry first and then do the Sculpture second. Having access to Trojan is pretty good. Yeah, so perfect. So this is going to eat up the Rolling Sands as well as get rid of one of his attackers. We can do the Sculpture. Ooh, double Sculpture is not bad. We just need our Broadwind. Our Broadwind will be like game winning here. If we get the Broadwind, it's so game winning. LeBlanc is scary here. Now, the fact that we have double Sculpture means that we can do Sculpture plus Wonder next turn and still have enough mana for Trollshan, which is pretty darn good. Opponent decides to just kill the Sculpture. I'm okay with this. I think Trollshan is more beneficial later on when the opponent has like a LeBlanc on the field, that I'm always willing to take that like that. Inner Beast is huge, yeah, because... Let's just do the Wanderer. Let's do the Wanderer so that we can block the Rockhopper, because we definitely don't want to block with the Sculpture, right? So we can block the Rockhopper. We're going to do the Sculpture and then have Screeching Dragon to be able to kill the Sivir while also having our Screeching Dragon survive. And there we go, because the Screeching Dragon is going to have 6 HP. We have Inner Beast to buff it up to 7. Sorry, if we need to. Although... the answer that the opponent's going to have is going to be something like Shapestone, right? Shapestone is a punish. Quicksand is a punish as well. Okay, so the Quicksand means that this gets down to 1 HP and doesn't really do anything. I guess we can do Tavern Keeper on it. Opponent's still only down to 2 cards. I guess 3 if you count the Walking Sands. Opponent decides to go Walking Sands first. Let's just do this. This gives me a good blocker into Sivir. if the opponent gets greedy, because we can now do the door. Yeah, there we go. So we can do the Protege while also having Trollshan backup, right? Now Sivir is gonna level up. Ooh, okay, so now that's a punish. Because he'll be able to drag this so that we cannot block the Sivir. Opponent attacks correctly, so Sivir levels up. This still stays on the field. And we can summon Galio next turn to buff it up. Blocking this doesn't matter. He's always gonna hit the reputation, right? So it's not gonna matter. We should let this one die. Guess we should stop here. We go down to 0. Do I want to keep the Galio? I think keeping the Galio is actually necessary. So we go like this and we just go down to 5. We summon Galio next turn. Still have Trollshan available. Also have the Stand Swap and the Inner Beast. The Galio will allow the... I guess the Screeching Dragon will actually die if he tries to pull the Sivir. We're down to 5 HP. But we will have a big Galio in the field, and we will have the Screeching Dragons as well. I think Galio is better than anything else we might have here. Okay, so he's forced to draw here. The question here is, are we supposed to actually kill the Sivir? What if we just pass? What if we just pass and we keep our mana for next turn? Because if we attack here, he can easily develop more. We have the Stand Swap for the 1-drops. So if the opponent develops, we can do the Ram Stance and kill all his 1-drops. Yes, I don't want him to summon another Sivir. I think this is fine. I think we do this, right? Oh, and we get the Udyr. Oh, the Udyr's not doing a lot right here. There we go. Opponent does it like that. We do like this. We clear his whole board. So we clear his whole board, right? Shapestone, I'm completely okay with this. Double Shapestone? Okay, so do you also have Absolver now? I guess Absolver will be a punish, right? But it has to be exactly Absorber or it has to be the Rally. What he's trying to do here, but this is not going to work for him because we have the Trollshan, right? So we technically could do like this and take 0 damage. Kill his whole board, right? I guess he doesn't kill his whole board. We do lose the Screeching Dragon. So let's say that the opponent has the Rally. Oh, wow. So we just lost. We lost because we got greedy. I forgot that this got buffed by the Shapestone. So for some reason, I thought my unit was going to survive. Opponent does the Rally. Technically, we survive with the Trollshan, but it's not going to be like anything that helps us survive long term. If opponent has the second Shapestone, we lose the game. Okay, alright. We almost through. I still think we're in a very bad spot, but at least we're not completely dead, per se. Right? Because we can do Udyr here. We should have done Inner Beast first, by the way, to get a 0-cost Stand Swap. So we can do Udyr here and just kill this right here. Have access to single combat. We can do a Stand Swap as well. Yeah, we have to do it like this. This gives us access to the Stand Swap. We always do the deal 1 to everything. Because we can single combat. Oh, wow. I completely forgot about us having 1 health. Well, that's a lesson to be learned. GG's. Oh, wow. I completely forgot about us having only 1 health. Well played. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed those games. You can kind of see what I was talking about with the Hyara Allseer bug. You saw it a couple times in a few of our games. But you can also see what I'm talking about how Udyr just gets so out of control so quickly because the opponents are not able to know what to, are not able to get through his big, beefy stat line. Honestly, the biggest problem that I have with this deck is when I don't draw Udyr. When I don't draw Udyr or don't draw Galio, it becomes a lot tougher to be able to win. So it's one of those decks that will rely a lot more on drawing your champions than anything else, unfortunately, as bad as it is. I'm actually wondering if it's actually worth it to play the Entreat just because of how important your champions are to this deck. So we'll see. As I keep playing around them more, we'll see if that's actually worth it. If anything, I'll probably cut a Sentry for an Entreat and then kind of go from there. But we'll see. In terms of mulligan, obviously you keep the Sculpture, you keep the Broward and your biggest thing, and you keep the Wonder. So usually I'm keeping my 2-drops. I'm actually willing to always keep Udyr in this deck as well. I think Udyr is so important to have it in your hand that even though he costs 5, I'm willing to keep him unless I'm going against aggro, and I think that I need the early blockers. So yeah, I think you just keep your 2-drops. Obviously, you can keep the 1-drop and the Sentry as well if you feel like you need to have some early blockers. But keeping the 2-drops is so good. You can kick out all your spells. If you do have the combination of Broward plus Protege, you can keep them both, and then kind of go from there. So yeah. Remember, if you like the content, make sure to like the video below. We also post LOR videos every single day, so make sure that you subscribe. You can also find us on Twitch at Twitch Sirturmund. We will stream 3 to 4 times a week, and you can also find us on Twitter and Discord. The links to those are both in the description below. Another thing is that I also added our Runeterra AR profile to the description below. I was having a lot of problem with my Lilith decks showing as private, even though they were public. So for now on, we're going to be posting all our decks on Runeterra AR, which you can actually go to Runeterra AR and you can actually follow us there. That way you get kind of like a sneak peek of the decks that we're going to be showcasing even before the YouTube video actually comes out. Anyways, hope you enjoyed these games, and I'll see you all again tomorrow as we keep exploring the new patch.